Welcome to Scrub In, a podcast powered by Bay Health. I am your host, Sarah Beebe.
And I am your co-host, Tyler Cody.
Thank you for joining us as we ask ourselves to scrub in
and talk more about our why behind the healthcare uniform.
Welcome back to Season 4 of Scrub In, powered by Bay Health, where we celebrate humans, heroes, and healthcare. Hey, Tyler.
Hey, how's it going, Sarah?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. We're back for Season 4 of Scrub In. I can't believe it's Season 4 already.
I know. I can't believe that we've done quite a few episodes already.
Yeah, it's been, 24 episodes so far?
Yeah. And this season, we're focusing on the community and our local community that Bay Health serves, as well as our community of the state of Delaware.
Yeah, and so if you guys, if you're listening out there, just be sure to leave a review, leave a comment, discuss how Bay Health has personally impacted you in the community, and maybe some suggestions on how we can reach you even further.
Now, how about you? How has Bay Health impacted you?
Well, Bay Health gives me a lot of opportunities to get out there in the community for volunteer opportunities, just community outreach. I've been involved in several initiatives that we've done over the past few years. And it also integrates with some of our departments that we work in here at Bay Health. I was formerly in the education department, and we did a lot of outreach to the community, vaccinations, blood pressure screenings, all of that. So it's been really fun to see that program grow.
That's awesome. Yeah. So Bay Health has been good to me. I was a bedside nurse here many years ago. And then when this job came up, that's exactly what I said. I was like, I've got no beef with Bay Health, and they were good to me before. So I was happy to come back. But personally, I've been a part of this system quite a bit in the past calendar year, caring for my dad. And when compared to other organizations or other experiences that he's had or that I've had, Bay Health has been a great place to be and a great experience for him. So yes, we would love to hear from those of you in the community and also from our Bay Health community about your experiences with the organization and what you've noticed.
Share your thoughts, everyone.
Yeah. Well, on that topic, our guest today is Kyle Benoit. He is our new Executive Vice President and Chief Operating Officer here at Bay Health and just started last week, right?
This is my second week. Yeah, January 6th is my first day.
Welcome, Kyle.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
We always start our episodes with a quote, so we're going to do that.
Yep.
So the quote this episode is, "People don't buy what you do; they buy why you do it," and that's from Simon Sinek.
Very nice.
And so, always getting back to our why, which is the focus of our podcast. So if you're not familiar with our podcast, Kyle, because you're new to Bay Health, we started because we wanted to hear what drives the people in our community in healthcare. Why do we do what we do? Because coming out of the pandemic, a number of us felt like, I don't even know why I do this anymore.
Right.
Like, I don't know what the reason was. And we thought, if we could share those stories, that may brighten somebody's day or inspire somebody to either consider their own why or to consider somebody else's why and think, well, I could do that. Or, I never thought about that or something like that. So that's where we came from. And that's why we started.
That's great. Absolutely.
Yeah. So Kyle, tell us about yourself.
Who are you?
Yeah, actually the message of why definitely resonates with me. As a leader, I'm very much about helping people identify their why, right? So, why did I get into healthcare is always something that I always try to remind myself. And I think it's safe to say, you guys said, after the pandemic, everyone's questioning. I think everyone did, right? But I think for me, it always comes down to always striving to make a difference, even from a young age. That's always something I've embodied, kind of seeing the world beyond yourself, right? And how can you make that difference for the collective whole? And throughout my healthcare career in the 15 years I've been in the leadership role, it's been that and helping people harness their why, realize their greatest potential. Really, because if everyone does that, I really truly believe everything falls into place, right? Yeah. And so I think in healthcare, especially, it's such a dynamic work environment, right? You have your clinical, you have your non-clinical, people from different faiths, different walks of life, all coming together for one common person. That's to take care of patients. And whether you're patient caregiver or not, I always tell people it's like you make a difference on the lives of the patients and the people that walk through this door each and every day. And that's my why, and I hope that's what other people's why is of why they got into health.
Yeah, absolutely. And tell us about you. What do you do outside of the hospital?
Yeah, while work is always a lot in everyone's life, I always tell people, what's your identity? And for me, it's husband and father. I am married to my lovely wife, Danielle, for 16 years. We're high school sweethearts. We have 4 children, 2 boys, 2 girls, um, 15 down to 7 is the age spread. And so they're very busy, very active, doing their respective activities in and outside of school. And I'm from a very large family. So family kind of really does define who I am and help shape who I am as an individual today. And I'm very fortunate to have all of them in my lives. And so, that's who I am as a person at my core, and who helps drive me as a leader uh, in my healthcare experiences. But really bringing that to here to Bay Health, it's been a very welcoming community family environment in my short time here. I experienced that during the interview process, and it's been continuing on since I've been here. So it's been an absolute pleasure being here.
Wonderful. Now, what brought you to Delaware?
It's just this opportunity came up, in life. I'm leaving my hometown. I'm a lifelong Midwest guy. I've been born and raised
Wow.
in Illinois, hour south of Chicago, a town called Kankakee. So this is big for my wife and I and kids, and leaving the area we call home and family and all that. But this opportunity came along, and it just piqued my interest. And my wife and I, after much thought and prayer and discussion, thought, just right time, right opportunity. So I keep saying the Midwest kid is moving to the Mid Atlantic, and we're excited to
Yep.
be out here and set up our lives out here. And there's so much similarities of where I was born and raised and always lived to where here, really.
Yeah.
But we just feel like it just a lot of different opportunities for our children that my wife and I didn't necessarily experience. In the East Coast, I think everyone knows everything's like clustered together, and you can access different cities and beaches and different environments that maybe didn't afford myself where I've been. And so we're excited to kind of set our lives up out here and be part of the Bay Health community and Delaware as a whole.
That's
Great. It's
wonderful.
gonna be even better when beach season comes around. You guys will.
I
Yeah,
know.
right.
We're not moving here at the best time of year, but
Yeah.
it's coming. We
Yeah.
promise.
Well,
We
a bunch
go
of people
all
gave
year for that.
I got a hard time when I started on January 6th. That big snowstorm that day. They said I must have brought the snow and cold with me,
Yeah.
because I came in for orientation. Like, we can't believe you showed up. I'm like, well, it's like a dusting for me, right? Where I'm from.
That was a big deal here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
No,
I mean,
my
I
kids were
just
out of
talking to,
school all last week.
I was talking to my wife, and it's like single digits back in our hometown right now. So
Okay.
it's definitely colder always, but no, it's just experiencing the area, the beaches, everything like that. We're definitely looking forward to it.
It's a wonderful place to raise kids and to grow up. Both Tyler and I are lifelong Delawareans.
Yes.
You were born at Kent, right?
I was born at St. Francis in Wilmington. Actually.
Oh, okay. I was actually born at Kent. He grew up
Okay.
in Kent County. I grew up in Sussex County. And it is a wonderful place to grow up and to raise your kids. And it is a small town feel, which
Yeah.
is wonderful.
Yep.
But we're
That's
close enough to the big cities to have those resources. So hopefully you love it as much as we do.
Oh, I'm sure we will. Yeah. And again, it's very similar to what I know.
Yeah. So, what kind of this season we're talking a lot about community, and so I know you're new to our community, but what kind of projects are you passionate about in our community, or what have you been involved in before?
Yeah, I was raised that giving back and volunteerism is important, and it's something that I've continued on as an adult. My wife and I especially, and for example, where I was from, I was on the board, I was the president, actively involved with United Way, the local United Way chapter. My kids' school, they went to a Catholic school. My wife and I were actively involved in all the fundraising and activities. And I sat on the finance committee and board for that. I also was a youth baseball coach and soccer coach for several years, and still do that a little bit. So I imagine once my kids get set up out here, I'll be doing the same thing. But I always look for opportunities to give back and volunteer and get involved in certain things with Harbor House and mental health awareness, a lot of different things like that I've done in my hometown. And what I see here at Bay Health is how much Bay Health is involved in the community, and I think that's important,
Yep.
right? That lives that the organization living its mission every day in and outside the walls, and is something that I'm absolutely looking forward to getting part of.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we do have a lot of opportunities just looking on our, our intranet, Baynet, our internal internet, right, even just today, there's a blood drive, there are activities, there are things that we're doing out in the community every day. And so there's lots of opportunities to get involved in many different ways. The other thing that's wonderful about our community is that we help each other too. So, later this season, our listeners will hear from Dr. Vaughn, and he does free bikes for kids.
Oh,
And
great.
50 of our bikes that we've obtained just this past Christmas went to Bay Health children.
Oh,
So,
that's great. Yeah.
and when we've had Bay Health family members who have had issues, they've lost their homes, they've had children in accidents, they've lost family members, things like that. We circle around them, and it's that's a pretty cool thing to see. Because we are becoming a bigger and bigger organization, but I don't think we've lost sight of that, which is pretty
And
cool.
I've been here for 11 years, and that's always been, at the forefront, is taking care of each other here.
Yeah, absolutely. And so something to keep in mind as your
Yeah.
family is transitioning here. It can feel scary because I don't know if you remember people coming to your hometown, the new people in town. Sometimes it could feel like, you want new people, but at the same time, like, this is how we've always done it.
Yeah, right.
And
Yeah.
so, and
Oh,
so,
yeah.
we want you to be here, and we want you to feel comfortable. And so, hopefully you find that support through the Bay Health community as well.
I can tell you my 2 weeks here, I've already experienced it. So it's weird being new for the first time in 11 years in an organization, but then you're new to a whole area, right?
Yes.
And the team members at Bay Health have gone above and beyond. I was getting emails like my first couple of days from people like, hey, welcome to the area. I understand you're living, so hey, here's some recommendations for restaurants, haircut, dental. I mean, just unsolicited. Because when you live somewhere your whole life, you take the smaller things for granted, like where to get a haircut.
Oh my God.
Like where's my dentist? Where's this, right? And so, electrician, a plumber, but everyone's been great. Like giving me a bunch of recommendations has been extremely helpful.
That's wonderful. Now, I'm kind of curious, what does the COO do for a hospital?
That's a great question. I'm still figuring that out. No, this role is responsible for, strategy and ultimately the operations for the entire system. And at healthcare, we are here to take care of business, but the operations are so key to help be effectively able to take care of patients. Like the business operations is very much a part of healthcare, right? It's very much ingrained, and you got to make sure that you have efficient processes in place for your patient, so it's ease of access, right, for your patients. That we have the right amount of staff, the right skilled staff. Are we trained in developing that staff? As it relates to strategy, do we have the right sites of service? What other buildings, equipment, facilities do we need to be able to meet the growing needs of our patients that we serve? So the operations officer really kind of encompasses a lot. But my responsibility really is like, I want a partner, right? So we have a great exec team, management team, and great frontline staff here. And for me, it's like, how do I work with all those individuals and make sure that we're all aligned and living our mission every day and fulfilling and executing on our strategies that lay out? Because if we do that, the patients and community benefit, right?
Absolutely.
And that's what it's all about. And so I really, throughout my entire career, it's been about that mentoring, that development, and building that team mentality. The foundation of a successful team is trust, and then you build up from there. And that's what it's all about for me, is building those relationships, establishing that trust. And I just think it just makes things much more effective as an organization, and that's what I've always said.
Wonderful. Yeah, and Bay Health, as you know, but then those in our community may not realize, Bay Health is a HRO or a high reliability organization.
Yep.
And so building trust and proper communication and all of that kind of stuff is a big part of our culture.
Yep.
Which I assume probably goes along with what you do quite a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. The high reliability organization, it encompasses basically everything I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
And to me though, when you just boil out the one thing though about communication, you can't communicate enough as an organization. And it's probably the thing that organizations struggle with the most.
Absolutely.
And but because everyone receives it differently, right? Is it email, is it in person, is it text, is it phone call, is it a podcast, right? You know, so it's just, and to me, you have to take that strategy of any and all avenues to get the message out, right?
Yeah.
Because you can't do it, and you got to be relentless about it. It's not just one time; it's probably 10 times. Because I think it's safe to say, as a society now, we are easily distractible, right? There's all this stuff going on. There's always some sort of distraction pulling us away. So it's impressed upon myself and the leadership team and everyone to just continue to focus on that communication.
Yeah.
So everyone feels aligned, everyone feels a part of what's going on, and they truly have that sense of ownership in what we're doing here at Bayhealth.
Right.
Yeah.
Good communication is really the foundation of patient safety too. So that's
absolutely.
Yeah. And, so in your role, how do you see ways to innovate and things like that here at Bayhealth?
2 weeks in, learning a lot, drinking from a fire hose, but
Sure.
you see those subtle opportunities just through conversations, through reading material, through just interactions in the hall. And for me, it's like, it's clear this organization is doing some great things. It's very obvious. That's why I came here. And to me, it's like, how do we do more? Right. I think for us, we should never lose sight of wanting to do more for the community and patients. And so how do we take the great success that Bayhealth has experienced their entire history, and how do I come in and make sure that we keep doing that, and maybe even at a bigger, larger, faster pace, right, with this great team. It's not about me. It's not about one individual. It's an entire team. Healthcare is a team sport.
Sure.
And that's what I want to embody for everyone. We want to hear your ideas. I mean, the best ideas come from the frontline staff, right, in my opinion, right? So I love to be, as I get more established, out and about, rounding, going to people in their element, hearing what they have to say, what works for them, what doesn't work for them. Because my responsibility really is to give them the tools they need to provide the best care for patients.
Absolutely.
And so, in short, with your answer, like, great things going on, and it's just like, what else can we do? And that's what excites me. And I think that's what excites really everyone here. They want to be a part of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I am so excited to meet you. I know you came through the Sim Center last week while I was out of town, but we're excited to continue to see you around the organization, in the halls, things like that.
Yeah.
We're coming to the end of our time. Is there anything else you'd like to share?
I just really want to thank everyone in the entire Bayhealth team and organization, and really the greater Delaware community, for how welcoming they've been to me. Just really overwhelming, and it just makes a move, because a move like I'm going through can be scary, right? You're leaving what you know.
Absolutely,
right? Your safety net, your network, but it makes it less scary and easier when you kind of feel like you're being embraced with open arms. So I really just want to thank everyone, and I really look forward to the coming days, the coming weeks, the months, and the great things that are going to continue to happen here.
great.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you to our listeners for being a part of our podcast. And just a reminder for our listeners to like or subscribe to our Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, YouTube, or just listen to us on bayhealth.org.
We are literally everywhere.
Yes.
Yep. And leave your thoughts. Tell us what you're thinking about every episode.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Kyle. It was great meeting you.
It was great meeting you both. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us on Scrub In, a podcast on humans, heroes, and healthcare. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe and follow us wherever you listen so you don't miss what's next.
Please leave us a review, tell a friend, and come scrubbing with us next time.